In this episode of Getting Geeky with Game Relief, I sit down with Peter to talk all about Circuit Breaker, the new game that just launched to Kickstarter yesterday, in fact. So you'll want to hang on until after our Kickstarter Corner, which we're bringing you 4 great games and a game that's on Amazon. Then you'll be graced by Peter's presence on our podcast after that. So stay tuned until after Kickstarter Corner. This episode of Getting Geeky with Game Relief is proudly being powered by Kill Merlin, a new board game for 2 to 4 alpha wizards from the Schumann family game. It's a super fun game with unique mechanics, high player interaction, and crazy gameplay. They're little ways away from their stretch goal they're going for, and at the time of recording there's about 40 hours to go, so by the time you hear this, depending on when you're listening, you'll have a little bit over 24 hours. So make sure you go check out Kill Merlin, a new board game for 2 to 4 alpha wizards that's currently on Kickstarter for a little bit longer. This episode of Getting Geeky with Game Relief is also proudly being powered by Rodent Rangers, Small Heroes, Big Adventures. It's a family-friendly RPG inspired by classic cartoons of mousy adventures like Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers, The Great Mouse Detective, those kind of things. This is coming to you from Purple Aether Games, so definitely go check out Rodent Rangers, Small Heroes, Big Adventures on Kickstarter through the 25th of October. Did you catch yesterday's episode? If you didn't, don't worry. They're one of our sponsors as well. This episode is proudly powered by Table Breaker's super heavy, solid metal poly dice set. Pause what you're doing right now. Go back and listen to the last episode we had so you can hear me and Sam talk all about this. It was a really funny episode. These dice are awesome. They're extra large and extra heavy metal polyhedral RPG dice set for D&D, Dungeons & Dragons, Call of Cthulhu, tabletop games, and RPGs. They're bigger, heavier, and dangerous, and there's going to be Christmas delivery. You have through the 6th of November to back this great dice project, so check out Table Breaker's super heavy, solid metal poly dice set. This episode of Getting Geeky with Game Relief is also proudly being powered by Cartel. It's a tabletop card game where opponents compete to earn the most cryptocurrency on the black market. And I had the pleasure to sit down with Andy, and you're going to be able to sit down and listen to me and Andy talk all about this game, the inspirations behind it, and have a glee old time on Friday. So make sure you're subscribed to Getting Geeky with Game Relief wherever you catch your podcast fever at, or just come to our website, GameReliefGo.com, and subscribe there. But this project you have through Monday, the 12th of November, so definitely check out Cartel on Kickstarter. Last but not least, this episode of Getting Geeky with Game Relief is proudly being powered by Fossil Find. It's a domino-based board game that uses custom double 12 dominoes as game pieces. This project's running through Sunday, the 18th of November. Go back and listen to our interview we had with Trey. It was this last Monday, so just a couple days ago. So definitely go listen to that and then come right back to their Kickstarter page and look at it and back Fossil Find, a domino-based board game on Kickstarter through the 18th of November.
Getting Geeky with Gamer Leaf, the podcast in which one man strives to level up his geekhood and helping you do the same one battle at a time. Now, let's get geeky with Gamer Leaf.
Welcome to Getting Geeky with Game Relief. Glad you could make it. Here, I'll take your coat. Sit down, stay a while. Would you like some hot chocolate? It's kind of cold out there, a bit nippy. Oh, okay. Do you like those little marshmallows that they put in it? You do? Okay, I'll get some of those. How many do you want? great. We have just enough for you and your friends. So make yourself comfortable, sit back, relax as we talk about these great games that are currently on Kickstarter. And then afterwards, I'll go ahead and get the brownies and donuts out for you so you can enjoy our little talk or little chat that we have with Peter about his great game that's currently on Kickstarter. So get comfortable. If you need anything, let us know. Yeah, via Messenger at Getting Geeky with Gamerleaf or my personal Blake Leaf D, or you can email us at gamerleaf@gamerleafgo.com.
What is this place? What is it doing here in the Leafs computer? Oh, it's Kickstarter Corner with the Leafs.
Do you like dragons? Well, you better go check out Dragon Lords: The Battle of Darion Relaunch then. It's got awesome art, and it's a skirmish-based card game in which 2 players build armies and battle head-to-head, coming to you from Wolflord Games. And by the time you hear this, they'll probably have a little bit over 48 hours to go, as this project ends on Friday, the 19th of October. So definitely go ahead and jump over to the Kickstarter campaign. We'll leave links in the show notes like we always do. Go check it out. You can always go ahead and watch some of the previews on their page. Michael Wright, one of our favorite previewers, the Unfiltered Gamer, does a great review on that as well. And then jump back over and back it if you like what you see. So, a game without dragons, you want one of those too? We've got you covered. Builders, the building deck building game. That's right, Builders is a deck builder where you're trying to build the tallest and most valuable skyscraper. They're getting really close to their goal, almost $1,000 away, and there's still a week left to get on the great project as it ends on Wednesday the 24th of October, early morning, so you'll want to make sure you back it way before then. And if you want to know a little bit about it, stay tuned until tomorrow when we'll be sitting down with one of the creators to talk all about Builders, the building deck building game. Like I said before, make sure you subscribe to the podcast wherever you catch your fine podcasts so you never miss an episode. We've got a crazy jam-packed week this week of Getting Geeky with Gamerleaf. You won't get sick of us because we're bringing you awesome games. So go check out Builders, the building deck building game. Like I said, you want to not miss this one. They're going through the 24th of October, and at the time of this recording, they only had 99 backers. Why not make it an even 100, should we? Another game that's on Kickstarter that just launched yesterday. Well, not yesterday, but the day before yesterday. I found it yesterday at the time of this recording, but you're listening to it in the future. So, Privateer Press. Yep, they just launched another game on the Kickstarters. Level 7 Omega Protocol board game, the 2nd edition. It's a tactical mini board game for 2 to 6 players where high-tech commandos hunt alien menace through a secret government facility. What I would do is I would go in and watch their Kickstarter video if nothing else. It is some awesome work. I would go check that out and then scroll down through the page and see what it has to offer. This game actually, back when the first edition came out, back in, I want to say 2013. Yeah, 2013. It was one of Tom Vassell from the Dice Tower, one of his top 10 games, as well as one of the top 10 sci-fi games over there at the Dice Tower. So it's actually a dungeon crawler with a shot of adrenaline. So dungeon crawler in a sci-fi world. Wow. Definitely check out Level 7 Omega Protocol board game 2nd edition. And I have some insider information for you. The Giveaway Geek is actually going to be doing a giveaway from Privateer Press. So you'll want to follow the Giveaway Geek as well. If you want your game mentioned on Getting Geeky with Gamerleaf, or you want to have an interview, or you want to do a giveaway with the Giveaway Geek, I am your man. Go ahead and message me. especially on the Facebooks over at Getting Geeky with Game Relief or Blake Leaf D. And that's the best way to get in contact with us. Or you can always shoot us an email over at gamerelief@gamereliefgo.com. And that way you can find out what's going on the Kickstarters if you don't want to peruse it every day. We do that for you. Level 7, the Omega Protocol board game, 2nd edition, runs 15 days. It's a short campaign, so you want to jump over and check that out sooner as opposed to later. It goes through the 31st of October, so Halloween. You like Halloween? Well, you'll definitely want to get Dead Sprint, the game. It just launched a Kickstarter yesterday. It's a board game for 2 to 5 players that need to outrun a horde of undead. Try to stay ahead on your turn before the horde takes theirs. It's a fun, fast-paced game, and they're going through Thursday the 15th of November, so definitely check out Dead Sprint, the game. You want to complete or add to your horde of Halloween games without having to wait? Well, if you're a member of Amazon Prime, go ahead and jump over to zomsgame.com or check out the link in our show notes. We'll have both our preview of it as well as a link to where you can find the game. See what the Leafs thought about it, and then go check it out. It was a fun game. We all loved it, and I know you will too. So jump over and check that out. Okay, you want a refill on that hot chocolate? Okay, great. And would you like a donut to go with it? We have 12 different ones to choose from. What one do you prefer? Okay, great. I thought you were going to go for this other one that I wanted. But that's a great choice. I hope you'll enjoy it. And I hope you'll enjoy this interview as I sit down with Peter to talk all about Circuit Breaker, their new game that just barely launched to Kickstarter. We'll catch you on the flip side of this interview.
Now, let's get geeky with Gamer Leaf.
You're sort of a new homeowner, and you just bought this house, and you're really excited about it. So you tell all your friends that you're going to have a housewarming party before you figure out that nothing in your house actually works, electrically speaking. So the challenge is in sort of the final minutes before your guests show up. You're going to be hooking up fun electrical doodads sort of to your house circuit.
Did that sound familiar to you guys? It didn't to me neither, but this is the story or the narrative behind Circuit Breaker board game, a new game on Kickstarter by Freshwater Game Company, and we're lucky enough to have on one of the creator masterminds behind this great game, Peter. Is that correct? Is that how you fall in line with Circuit Breaker board game, Peter?
Yes. I'm a co-creator on the project.
Well, thank you so much for creating a game and also joining us on Getting Geeky with Game Relief. We really appreciate it, Peter.
Oh, thank you for having me on.
No problem. Now, before we get into everything that's great about Circuit Breaker, the board game, let's rewind a little bit if we could. How did you get into playing tabletop board games?
I've actually been doing it since I was a child. It's been a long time. I never really took it that seriously. It's been sort of a long time passion of mine, and only recently, in the last year and a half or so, did I get really super serious about it. For me, it was always an art thing at the time. I enjoyed board games because they were, they just look nice, I guess. Like chess has a symmetry to it. You know what I mean? There's a design that has gone into it. I don't know. I just appreciated that about them.
Awesome. And did you start off with the more what they call classic games and jump over to hobby games at some point?
It was quite abrupt. I think somebody had brought something. Oh, you know what it was? It was somebody had brought over Alibi. Are you familiar with Alibi? It's kind of, and the way they described it was, it's like Clue, but better, I guess. And I was like, well, what do you mean by that? And they said, well, because it's the sort of refined version of what you're doing in Clue, which is the actual investigation part of it. You know what I mean? And so that to me was sort of like the first tangible realization that you could have like a distilled form of this idea, and then you start looking at this everywhere else with all the roll and move sort of games where you look at it and you're like, well, there's actually not, I mean, and I don't want to diss anybody here, obviously, but there are design improvements that can be made on these games that were published and recognized as like final products, you know what I mean? And so you sort of like, you get into this world, and then Catan came short after that, where I was playing Catan and that sort of opened, my eyes to this world of modern gaming. And I just absolutely love it. Yeah,
there's tons of games out there. So at the current time, what would you say your favorite game is, Peter?
Right now? Oh, man. Party game, I would say Secret Hitler's up there for me. I absolutely love that. I really like Shipwreck Arcana, which was kind of a, I don't want to say obscure, but definitely not as talked about as I would have liked. And then Alibi actually became one of my favorite games after that. I thought it was really good.
Awesome. Well, you told us a little bit about Alibi. I've heard, and probably a lot of people have heard about Secret Hitler. You said the other one was obscure. What was that game again?
So it was called Shipwreck Arcana. And if you're really into, sort of collaborative kind of puzzle games, it's really quite interesting.
How does that game go down, or what exactly do you do during Shipwreck? You said it's Shipwreck Arcana?
Yeah, it's by, I'm blanking on the publisher right now, but the idea is that you are you're playing collaboratively with your friends to try and guess. You sort of use, it's like a logic puzzle. You're using the information that you have and don't have to guess a number between 1 and 7. It's sort of hard to explain, but it's very addicting. I mean, it's really pretty different.
And that's the whole purpose of the game, to guess a number between 1 and 7?
Oh yeah, but you gotta go play it though to see what I'm talking about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it sounds like it. Awesome.
Yeah, it's really different. It's really different and interesting.
Wow. So being a designer and all, what would be, you talked about them enhancing the roll and move games when we were talking at first. What would be one thing you would do to enhance Shipwreck Arcana or change it up a little bit?
Oh, no. Shipwreck Arcana is a modern game. I wouldn't change it at all. I think it's perfect. But as far as, to your question about improving roll and move games, I guess what I would do, and as a lot of other people have tried to do, is create a sort of a modular space with which to move, instead of a static board, just like rolling around in a square. And so I guess the parts of it that I would mess with are, the direction with which you're moving and the terrain that you move over, I guess would be the way to.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Yeah, that'd be cool. So word on the street, like you talked about changing. Well, you talked about changing roll move games. Word on the street is that you created a new game, and it's on Kickstarter, about to be on Kickstarter. What can you tell us about a Circuit Breaker board game?
It's got a mix of mechanics. It's got tile placement and set collection are the two main things that it focuses on. And so there's a sort of a central marketplace of all the tiles in the game, and it's composed of wires and appliances. So the point of the game is to collect sets of appliances based on your secret objective card that you're given. So for instance, if I had television right on my card, I would score more points for having more televisions. So I would want to go out and get those televisions, and I can get them from the marketplace, or I can also get them from other players using my mouse. I can move it around and steal things from other players as well. And so you're building this personal network out of tiles on the board that has a very light kind of path building aspect to it. But I don't want that to turn people off too much if you're not into path building, because it's really more about the set collection and the tile placement.
Okay, so tile placement, set collection, and path building all lumped into one game, it sounds like?
It's been described rather unfairly to me as being the meanest game anybody's ever played. And so I don't know what that says about the people playing it, but you do have the capacity to be very, very mean in it. But the game doesn't reward you for that behavior, if that makes sense. And so, because the only player interaction in the game has to do with taking things from other people, there's kind of I guess a possibility for animosity there.
So there's a lot of take that in it?
There is, yeah. No.
I mean, some people like it, some people don't. We're more for that. So it's not co-op then? No co-op at all?
It's not. No. You could do a team mode, I guess, which would be if you had 4 players, you could do like a 2-on-2 part of it, but it doesn't really require any rule amendments or anything. You just decide that that's what you're going to do.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Yeah, we don't really, at our family, we're more cutthroat, rather go for the guy as opposed to play.
Oh, you would love this.
Now, it doesn't, if I'm looking at it right, this is not the first game you guys have created. Is that correct?
Not the first game, no. Our first release was called Sector, which was an abstract shape building kind of puzzle game.
Okay, and it looks like, so I'm looking at this, I'm looking back at your Kickstarter history. You tried Sector, you ran it on Kickstarter one time, you started with 1% and it ended up funded, and then you did another run of it and ended up with 129% funded. And then you had Circuit Breaker on a while back ago, ended up canceling it. Now you're going back to Kickstarter. What has changed since the last run you had with Circuit Breaker on Kickstarter, if you don't mind my asking, Peter?
Oh yeah, no, not at all. So Circuit Breaker has gone through a pretty incredible design change since the first Kickstarter. So we moved it from 1 to 3 players. It's now 2 to 4 players. We got rid of dice entirely, which allowed us to bring the per unit, the overall cost of the game down. But as well as focus really on what made the game fun, which was sort of moving the mouse around. Previously, it was like an option, that you had to pay for, and now you just get to do it every turn, and so you get a little bit more. It fosters a lot more player interaction this way around. And then we changed the appliances. Originally, we still have 48 appliances, but now we have 4 of 12 instead of 2 of 24 appliances, if that makes sense.
Okay, so do you have to get 4 out of 20? You have to get 4 to win, or what does that mean exactly? Sorry.
No, it's just it's a point-based system. So if you get all 4, that's the best score of that item you could get, for instance. But you could still get away. So like if television is on your card, and you get 1's worth 3 points, 2's worth 6 points, 3's worth 10 points, and all 4's worth 15. So it'll just go up exponentially depending on what on your card you're sort of focusing on. So you do not get penalized for not getting everything on your card or getting less than you expected or leaving paths open. You don't get penalized for any of that stuff. And we also changed the appliances to make them more party themed, because I know before we had sort of the game in general was a little bit more drab. We decided to add a couple more, some more color and some more pop to the whole thing. So to really enhance that party theme, we wanted to make that really present.
Oh, okay, that's pretty cool. So you talked about the scoring a little bit. Now, how do we get to that point? Like if me and you sat down to play Circuit Breaker, the board game, what would our turns look like, Peter? So
you would take your turn. You get 3 actions that you can complete once per turn in any order. And so whatever order is most beneficial for you, you can take. Those actions are to place your mouse somewhere on the board. You can put it on an opponent's appliance, any opponent's appliance. You can put it on any tile in the marketplace, except for there's a cheese tile with a bunch of cheese tokens on it. You can't put it there. And so if I were looking at my hidden objective card that's given to me at the beginning of the game, then I would most likely, if one of those tiles is face up on the board, I could go for that. Otherwise, I could just do a general draw off of the main appliance stack. The second action you can take is to discard a tile from your hand out onto the board. And so this actually serves kind of a dual purpose, because there's 3 appliance discard piles and 2 wire appliance discard piles in the game. And so you're not discarding it on top of a generic discard pile per se, like a singular one. You're actually making an active decision based on what you assume the opponents need to actually bury appliances. And so to make them do a little more work to get what they need. And every time you discard something from your hand, you get a cheese cube, which is used to manipulate other players' mice. So you would, if another player's mouse targeted an appliance that you owned, you would be able to cheese, quote unquote, that mouse off of your stuff, to keep your stuff. You'd be able to turn that in. The same is true if a player lands on a disco ball in the marketplace that you want before your turn comes up. You can cheese that mouse off of that disco ball to then be able to lay your own mouse on top of it. And then the third action that you can take is to place up to 2 tiles from your hand out onto your network. And so this is the path building aspect. There's 4 connections in the game, 1, 2, 3, and universal. So all the 1, 2, 3 connections need to match. And you can't run into walls with it, basically. And so part of the challenge is working your network out in a way to where you don't get stuck yourself, where you can keep your options open. So you don't cap all your ends too early either in the game, because you want to maintain growth.
Okay, but I can try to block the other people's ends, though, can't I?
No, because you're all working on your own separate. I guess they call them tableaus, maybe, or network that never actually touch other players' networks. You only place your stuff on your own network.
So where's the take that come in then? So
if I have my mouse can target other players' networks, like appliance networks. So for instance, like if I had a group of tiles out in front of me, right? These are my tiles, and they've got wires leading to appliances. The player next to me is going to have a similar looking separate bunch of tiles in front of them. And so they may have things on their network that I want, and I can use my mouse and place it over there to go take some of their stuff.
Oh, okay. So the mouse steals some of their stuff so you can add it to your tableau or your path or whatnot.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Awesome. And you said we win by having the most victory points at the end, like depending on how many appliances we have and whatnot?
Yeah. So it's a combination of appliances and cheese. So it's appliances that are on your card, appliances that are not on your card, which you'll still get points for if you have sets. And then cheese is like a half point each at the end, so it's pretty inconsequential. It's not a priority for most people.
And if somebody wanted to try it out before they go ahead and back it, if I recall correctly, it's on Tabletopia, is it?
It is, yeah. Currently, I got to do a little bit of gallery updates, but the game is currently functional with the current rules.
And is that something they had to pay to play, or how does that work?
Nope, it's free to play as far as I know. You just go on to tabletopia.com, and then you can search Circuit Breaker in the search field, and it should come up.
Oh, okay. That sounds really cool. So, and we'll make sure we leave links in the show notes so people can go ahead and just click the links and whatnot. And there's people that have already played it. So who were some of the reviewers, and what did they have to say about Circuit Breaker, Peter?
We actually got a lot of reviews for the first version of it. And a lot of them came back saying that they really liked the mouse aspect of it, which is good since it's most of the game. And so I'm really excited to see. We're supposed to be getting actually all of our reviews back this next week. And so I'm actually really excited to see what people think of it.
Okay, awesome. And did you have different people? It looks like before you had Logan Chops reviews as well as a couple others. Did you go to new people or same people? Or
we actually did a combination. We had about half of the people we went to before release a sort of a re-look at it. And then we went to some new people. We actually have I guess it's Board Game Brawl and Unfiltered Gamer.
Okay, awesome. I always love Unfiltered. I like what Michael puts out there at Unfiltered Gamer.
Yeah. So I'm excited to see what he thinks about it.
So that's awesome. Now, during play testing, Peter, has there ever been anything that you had to Well, I guess there was because you just talked about it, but was there anything you had to cut because it just wouldn't work?
Yes, the dice, most definitely. What we found out one of the bigger things actually that I found out that was a little more subtle was giving players more information to work off of. So the old version, we were dealing with a combination of you were looking for both appliances. And so your chances of finding, the 2 appliances you needed out of a stack of 48 tiles was pretty slim. And you had to roll. So you rolled all 6 dice. And so that was determinant really of what you could do on your turn, which a lot of people were not happy about because better rolls obviously yield, more powerful turns. As well as every tile that you got was face down before you saw it. And so it was sort of it felt very random chance kind of fate that befell players previously. And so we tried to really sand that down and give players just as much information as they needed to feel like they had a plan, but withhold some of it to have those kind of hidden strategies also still take place in the game.
Well, that's pretty cool. Now, when it comes to on the other end of the spectrum, when it comes to Circuit Breaker, the board game, what would you say you're most proud of, Peter?
I think the theme itself and the art. I'm sort of new to Adobe Illustrator, but I tried my hand to do all the art in the game, and it's sort of purposely sloppy, and so I hope it's cute. People think it's cute. The other thing is that it's kind of a hint to players to not take the game that seriously, because like we said before, it can be really mean, and so we've tried to allude in the theme that it's just kind of a playful kind of experience.
Well, there you go. Have you seen a lot of table flipping then?
No. Well, it started a yelling match in a coffee shop between 2 full-grown men. So,
well, that's not good.
Yeah, that's close.
Oh boy. Well, that's good. Yeah, you don't want to flip out over somebody's table in the coffee shop. They probably would have got banned, and then they wouldn't have liked your game anyway. So that's not good. But so it was close. So that's awesome. Now, with all the other games on Kickstarter, what makes your game pop or stand out as with all the other games on Kickstarter, what makes your game pop or stand out as one my audience should go ahead and check out and then back if they like what they see, Peter?
Well, I think it kind of comes down to what your preferences are as a game, but it plays in about a half hour to 45 minutes. It can be even faster than that if you know what you're doing. And we tried to make it, what we try and do at Freshwater is think about the game on its 17th play instead of its first play, if that makes sense. And so we don't try to make compromises. I'll give you an example. So like, all of the art in the game is unique for all the tiles. We could have made all the popcorn makers, for instance, look exactly the same for the sake of time, but went ahead to try and add that longevity so that you appreciate the depth of the game over time with trying to figure out, you'll play the game through one time, and then you'll hopefully think, well, if I play this a second time, like here's all the things I learned from this playthrough that I can then, utilize for my next playthrough. So hopefully it has some longevity. It plays quickly. It accommodates up to 4 individuals, and we try and make it really easy to teach people. And so if that's a game that if you're looking for something like that, fits in a small box. So on kind of the lower end of gaming price point these days. So I guess for all those reasons, I would say give it a shot.
So that's awesome. And we'll make sure we leave all the links in the show notes so people can go ahead and check it out and then back it. So this Kickstarter campaign is running from, I want to say, the 19th of October till when, or when about is it launching and running through?
So we're launching October 16th, and it should go to about November 15th, 16th, something like that. Or yeah, maybe a little less. We might run it for 25 days.
Okay, so October 16th, awesome. And like I said, we'll make sure we leave all the links in the show notes so they can go ahead and check out everything that's great about Circuit Breaker, the board game. And if they like what they see or they like what they heard, or even if they like what they play on Tabletopia, they can go ahead and click that little back me button, and then they can be able to get the game. So you don't over promise and under deliver. If they do back the game, when would they anticipate getting Circuit Breaker board games so they can play the actual game in their home, Peter?
Well, we are budgeting for about 7 to 9 months, I think, on this one. But Sector we fulfilled in about 3.5 months. So I'm hoping for a similar timeline for Circuit Breaker, but I like to, you're right. You're exactly right when you say I don't want to overpromise and underdeliver. And so I want to do it the opposite. But we get all of our stuff produced locally. And so it should be a little bit quicker turnaround.
Oh, okay. So we won't be waiting on ships coming out of China then.
Right.
Oh, okay, awesome. Now, besides changing some of the play since last time you had it on Kickstarter, have you guys done anything in the realms of marketing or anything else different that's going to help get your game? Let's see here. No, yeah. So have you done anything else to help? I know you can't guarantee it, but have you done anything else to help ensure or have a better chance of reaching your funding goal this time through?
Well, I'm hoping that having a more cohesive product helps. I think the last game was a little confused, for lack of a better word. And so now we've really worked on the product itself to try and make a better product we can deliver for less money. And also lending to your point about the marketing aspect, reaching out to the community for actually voting on design changes that we've made. And so a lot of the design changes you see in the game will come from, voters like me, like you and your listeners.
Okay. And is this voting that's already taken place or voting that will go throughout the campaign for this next one?
I think it'll go through the campaign. Yeah. Yeah. We have a lot of especially with stretch goals and sort of custom pieces we're trying to make. We like to get people's opinion on what to do with those.
Okay, so yeah, if you see you want to get a bigger and better game of Circuit Breaker and have your say in the game throughout the campaign, as well as have a less expensive price than last time, make sure you jump over and click on that link for Circuit Breaker board game that we'll have in the show notes, so you can go ahead and get started on following the action and have your voice count, and then be able to play the game in a little bit so you can have it at your home. And in the meantime, might as well check it out on Tabletopia. Now, I know you haven't had a chance necessarily to listen to our podcast, and that's okay, Peter, but the next portion of it is called Adventures in Application Acquisition, where we talk about an app, be it for your cell phone, your tablet, your computer, or even your video game. Now, it doesn't have to deal with setting up all the circuits in your home or tabletop board gaming for that matter. Is there an app you use a lot of that we can talk about for a moment?
Well, Acorns is an app that allows you, I guess it's an investment app, that takes any leftover cents that you have from a credit card transaction and puts it into a mutual fund account for you. So if I buy a cup of coffee for $3.86 or whatever, it'll take it'll round it up to $4, right? And take the remainder and put that into this account. And so you can go in and you can see your account balance, or you could set it to a certain risk factor for your investment accounts. If you're a younger person and you don't anticipate doing anything with it for a while, you could set it to more, a more riskier, higher return type thing. high risk, high return.
Oh, okay, that sounds pretty cool. And they call it Acorn. If you were to do one thing to enhance it or make it better, what would that be, Peter?
Oh, well, I'd make it easier to link my accounts. Right now, they do a thing where, like a lot of these, financial apps do, where they'll make 2 small deposits into your account, and then you're supposed to go on to look at your statement, to look at the deposits, and then enter those in as a security feature. And I understand why they do it, but I just think it's kind of tedious.
Yeah, they do get that way. So if we try to make a green podcast, so if anybody from the creators or anybody who has anything to do with updates or anything from Acorn, the app, is ever listening, you heard it here first on Getting Geeky with Game Relief, what Peter, one of the co-creators of Circuit Breaker, the board game, would do to make that a little bit better and enhance that app. So that's awesome. Now, minus coming there to your hometown to stalk you and keep up with the games you have going on or Circuit Breaker or anything like that, how would people go about keeping up with you and what you have going on, Peter?
Well, first and foremost, I believe our Facebook page gets pretty regularly updated. You can follow me on Twitter at P Mariuto, I think. And then our website has a blog on it that we've tried to keep pretty current about what's going on.
And is that like freshwatergames.com or what is the website?
Yeah, it's just www.freshwatergameco.com.
Okay, and is that how we find you on Facebook as well? Freshwater Games or
at Freshwater Game? Yeah, should be almost all of them. Twitter and Instagram.
Okay, and if you get us those links, we'll make sure we leave those up so that people can just click through or whatnot. Now, any final parting words on why somebody should, maybe they haven't done it yet, I don't know why they wouldn't have, but they haven't gone over and clicked that link in the show notes. Any final words on why they should go ahead and click that link while we're still on talking about it and while it's still fresh on their mind, Peter?
Like I said, my hope for this is that even if it's not inherently your cup of tea, if you look into it and give it a shot, I'm hoping that people are pleasantly surprised with what they find. And so, I would encourage everybody to do that.
For sure. Maybe somebody doesn't have a lot of money in their wallet and they want to help out. I know it's not on the Kickstarter page currently, but it looks like you might have some social goals. What can you tell us about those in closing?
So we're actually going to try and do I guess there's a word for it, but it's where you have X number of goals, social goals that are set. And so for every like a certain number of those that we meet, that'll release a new stretch goal for the game, right? So say you had Board Game Geek, Twitter, Instagram, maybe Facebook likes, things like that. And you had several tiers of those, people could go out and sort of unlock those in any order is the way that we're trying to look at it. Having a little bit more dynamic stretch goal system in this one than we previously had.
Okay, so awesome. Yeah, so jump over there. If you haven't yet, you will go ahead and pause the podcast. We'll wait for you. You can go ahead and pause and we'll wait for you. Thanks for going ahead and checking out Circuit Breaker, the board game. I hope you like what you saw and click that back button. We'll make sure we leave links in the show notes. So if you are listening later on, you can do that as well. And we don't want to keep you all night, Peter, but we really appreciate you coming on Getting Geeky with Game Relief with us to talk all about everything that's great about Circuit Breaker, the board game, and the updates you've had since the last run on Kickstarter.
Oh, thank you. No, I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. I hope you enjoyed that episode or that interview that I just had. It was a great interview if you ask me, but I'm a little bit biased. You know who's not biased? You guys. That's where you come in. You can help us out and help other people find Getting Geeky with Game Relief by going ahead and leaving a rating and a review, especially in iTunes. Even if you don't have an iTunes account, you can still do this, and you don't have to catch your podcast on iTunes. Heaven forbid we have somebody come over to use Apple and they don't like Apple, but go ahead and do that, and you can still catch it on your favorite podcast catcher. This way, more people can find out about Getting Geeky with Game Relief, and we can get better and bigger that's what we all want, isn't it? But anyways, make sure you're subscribed as well on your podcast catcher, because like I said, we're going to have a jam-packed week of podcasts. Tomorrow we're going to be bringing you Builders, the deck building game. I might have gotten it mixed up, but make sure you come back for that. As well as Friday, we'll be bringing you Crypto Cartel, and Saturday, hopefully, Weapon Wars and Flipper Wars combined into one great episode. Plus, like we said before, if you want to have your game mentioned on Getting Geeky with Game Relief, just send us a message via Messenger on the Facebooks. Almost forgot to tell you. You remember that giveaway we were doing in which one lucky listener can win a container for their dice? Well, we have a winner for that. I sent an email out to him and have yet to hear back. But if you're listening, and I hope you are, Mark Marine, you're the lucky winner. So go ahead and send us an email at gamerelief@gamereliefgo.com. If you know Mark, make sure you tell him so he can go ahead and get word to us. And we'll give you, Mark, through next week. So what? That'll give you 7 days. So Wednesday the 17th. So you'll have through Wednesday the 24th of October to contact us. So you can get that great thing to store your dice in. I hope to hear from you soon, Mark. As well as we want to hear from all of you other Getting Geeky with Game Relief fans. Now, it's our least favorite time, your least favorite time for us to get on with our lives, you to get on with yours. In the meantime, I hope you'll go ahead and get geeky, stay geeky, and bring others into the geek fold. Game Relief out.
Gamer Leaf levels up. Tune in next week to see if Gamer Leaf's luck holds up.